Okay. You got to come over here. They can't see you. Look. Can you see? Look. There you go.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to change the computer and get a different background, but
How come my head looks like twice your head?
because I'm sitting further away, and you could back up a little bit. There.
I still look like my head is
Mhm.
twice your size.
So, hi. So Michael's.
My head is twice your size.
Yeah. So Michael's concerned about his big head, but so we should probably start off by talking about what astrology is
Yeah.
and why his head is so big.
Astrology. Well, Aries rules the head.
Oh, there we go.
According to astrology.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at astrology, we're talking about the influences that all planets have to each other as they orbit around the sun, and as they pass, as their orbits go near and away from the Earth, they have an effect on the Earth.
Right.
And this effect is measured by astrological precepts, ideas that have been developed over many, 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 many centuries, if not thousands and thousands of years ago. And we call this astrology, which is basically an interpretation of what happens when these orbits occur, when these movements occur around the sun as they affect the Earth in terms of their position. You're supposed to be talking to us.
Oh, okay. Well, so what I think is really interesting right now is that you're holding your head like your horns are really heavy. And so what we can see is the top of your head right now. Do you want to talk about that with Aries?
Well, yes. One of the things that astrology does is it gives characteristic qualities for each of the signs. According to astrological principles, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it rules the head. So it is given as an animal symbol, the ram, because Aries occurs when spring begins in our hemisphere. And what we find is that the rams come down out of the mountains during spring. And the problem with Aries and the head, when most Arians have the heads tilted either forward or to the side, usually to the side, because it is said that the ram has these large, very large horns, and their heads are heavy. And so Aryan types, people born in the time of Aries, which is from March 21st to April 19th, that these people are going to display some qualities of the ram, which is that their heads are heavy, and usually they have larger heads than most people.
Yes.
That is how this quality of Aries is designated by the attributes that are interpreted from what we notice, what we observe happening in nature.
So I've noticed something interesting relative to, because Michael and I are also Year of the Dog. I am going to introduce ourselves. I am a Sagittarius Year of the Dog 1970. Michael is an Aries Year of the Dog 1946. And something that I notice is that, the dog also, their face and their appearance seems to be very pronounced. Like their heads also seem to be, like, or faces seem to be a little bit larger than the other signs.
Well, they're more defined.
I see.
They're not so much that they're larger, but they're very defined. The head area of the Libra, or the sign dog, is that their head, usually their face, has a lot of expression. Now, when we talk about the dog, we're talking about a different system. This is called terrestrial astrology. It is also called moon cycles, as the Chinese zodiac follows the moon. But it's time for effect on the Earth is for a period of 1 year for each sign. There are 12 signs. One of each sign, one Chinese sign corresponds to one of our Western signs, as we have 12 months. China has 12 years.
Yes.
And so the dog belongs to the sign Libra,
Hmm,
which is the complement of Aries.
I
And we
see.
can get more into that as we discuss this further.
Very interesting. So let's talk about also, I think is interesting, is that Aries is also a month of the dragon.
Yes.
And I also noticed that dragons and dogs do seem to have some similarities, but the dragon's face isn't as defined. It's
No,
like mystical almost.
well, they're defined in a different way than the dog.
Okay.
The dog's definition is very palatable because it is very friendly. It is very accommodating. Usually, when you meet dogs, you see a friendly face. You see someone that is apparently all mostly there. They're not shielding anything. They're not putting on a strong front. Whereas the dragon is very bold.
Ah.
It hides its true nature by this fierce appearance. The dragon has very
Oh,
fierce appearance.
right.
Both signs
Mhm.
have fairly good sculptured faces. The
Okay.
dragon far sharper and appearing a little more aggressive. The dog not as sharp, but also very well defined and usually
Mm,
very pleasant
right.
and very palatable to the
Mhm.
eye. It's very pleasing. China says that those people who are born in the year of the dog, that both men and women are usually very attractive, and I have found that that is true in all of the time that I've studied astrology and looked up people born in those years.
Okay, you know what? So we've been at 6 minutes. I just wanna pause it now. I'm gonna end it
Okay,
because so we can review it.
we'll send this to let's send this one.